Earlier, we were talking about using breath work to rise above really fearful things like having cancer and those type of things. And I work with people who have cancer. I wondered if you could speak a little bit more about that in depth.
Yes, we can. We're the Lemurians, so we're very pleased to answer this question because cancer and fear are the same vibration. That's what's most important to note. So it would be natural for someone with cancer to feel fear because they have a collective that's vibrating in that frequency field. But knowing that is a very empowering wisdom, because if you know that fear is the same vibration as cancer, you can utilize a variety of different tools to move yourself out of fear for periods of time, and that becomes the goal. And for every human, this is unique. But we know that you asked about breath work, so we want to speak to how this works. Because the human mind begins to loop specific patterns based on past experience. And this plays in with a disease such as cancer. Whenever there's a diagnosis on your planet, that diagnosis has become a concrete belief. It has so many different experiences embedded within it. So naturally, when someone is interacting with a consciousness like cancer, they're going to be working through every single belief that has ever been a part of that experience on the planet before. And this is a difficult type of replay in the mind to snap the self out of in the midst of difficult experience. And we agree with you that fear is valid. But this is why the breath in meditation is so profound in these situations. Because if the patient that has been diagnosed can actually bring the breath into a state of relaxation, there are a variety of alchemical reactions within the body that can promote healing. The first one that's very important, we believe, is interrupting the process of the mind. Because if the human is focused on breath or focused on some practice of breath and can get into a state of relaxation, they're interrupting the pattern of fear. This can even happen with some physical activity, such as dance or movement, for example. Anytime someone has to focus on a physical action or a new way of moving or learning some new task, they're interrupting that pattern or that signal of fear. And what happens if it isn't interrupted is it strengthens in the body. It becomes a communication between the mind and the organisms that are creating the cancer. So now they're in symbiosis. They're actually responding to each other and expanding a situation. But the breath also is very nourishing for the cellular energy, because cancer is a resistance. And healing, or being activated, is expansion. And that is what the breath is designed to do. The breath is designed to expand the physical consciousness and the body consciousness such that it can reorganize patterns. So if we're always in a state of physical restriction, or we have cells that are physically restricted, when we bring in the breath, we open up the space to actually activate energy and move cells. Any interruption in a pattern of experience is going to change the experience. So if we have a disease such as cancer, and we're doing the same protocol as every other human on the planet, we're perpetuating a very strong pattern with very similar results. But if we mix something uniquely into that pattern, all of a sudden, we're not subject to the same experiences that we've been immersed in before. But finally, we want to bring in the concept of magnetics, because we know this was spoken of in this transmission. When you are doing work with the breath, you are activating your magnetic fields. Those magnetic fields sit outside of the body. They're etheric in nature. It is not just your aura, but it is your light body and what we'll call the Merkaba that are all interconnected and activated together. When this begins to happen, the human will naturally move into a state of 0 point. And that 0 point is where all possibility exists, but those possibilities are tailored to the situation at hand. So as a human practices states of Kundalini, for example, relaxing in the breath or raising the life force energy through all of the chakras, they are increasing that magnetic field with a chain of reactions that takes place universally. And that universal chain of reaction is really the best tool you have in your toolbox right now as humans to carry you outside of some of the most discordant patterns that are running in the mind and in the body.
I just wanted to share something. The other night, I woke up, my heart was racing 100 miles an hour, and I was thinking about the breath. So I started taking deep breaths, and I talked to my heart, and I told it, this is ridiculous, you know, just calm down. And I'm using that technique of the deep breath was a way to calm everything down and get back. So I just wanted to reaffirm that it's a wonderful tool.
Yeah, so we're the Lemurians. What we love about this is that the speaking to the body combined with the breath is such a powerful tool. And the reason for this is the heart in itself is a consciousness. It is a microorganism cellular consciousness that is come together to support your overall being. It's electromagnetic in nature. It is willing and open to receive communication from you and direction from you. And especially to use the breath, it is a more gentle entryway into that communication, because we see oftentimes humans communicate with organs in very discordant, frustrated, or angry ways. So to use the breath first to come into a state of relaxation and then communicate with whatever aspect of the body is out of alignment is a very beautiful practice indeed.